Hello everyone, Shinto Bean here playing some more Warhammer combat cards. It is the beginning of a new ranked season, and with this new season there has come a major change to boss Zagstruk. I recently did a video on him, and I said that he was one of the weaker warlords, and he really was. That his special rule used to just deal an extra 20 damage whenever you destroyed an enemy unit, but that has been completely changed to a different ability. So now whenever your cards would ready, they instead attack for 100% of their melee damage. So a lot of orcs have both a ranged and melee attack, so in order for them to ready, they have to go psychic. You have to choose psychic, which is why Ed Zappa actually works really well with Zagstruk now. But also scouts. Units with the scout trait will ready on deployment, meaning with boss Zagstruk they will now attack instead. So the Storm Boy and also this guy, the legendary Deathkiller Wartrike, is a particularly powerful unit to include with boss Zagstruk, as this thing will be dealing 56 damage on deployment. And it seems really powerful. We'll see if it's too powerful. They may end up having to nerf it there. The Deathkiller Wartrike, I only have it at level 2, but at max level, it would be able to ready 3 times in a row. And with Zagstruk, it would actually be attacking 3 times on deployment, which is pretty ridiculous. It's like over 200 damage. Okay, let's see. I think one thing to be careful about, though, is that your scouts, the ability activates immediately upon deployment, so there needs to actually be an enemy card in play. Let's see, what do I want to put down, though? I think we might save it for a little bit later, so we'll put down the Killa, or not the Killacan, but the Death Dread there, and sure, this looks like a decent target. We'll put down the Wartrike opposite this Canoptek Wraith, so it will be attacking there, and got a cool little rocket animation. I really like that little touch that they added. We are playing against the Stormlord, so every time they ready, they'll be dealing 20 damage to one of my units. However, this is actually ideal for me because the Necrons have no Psychers, so I can just go Psychic and it will allow my units to attack instead of readying, and the enemy can't do anything about it. So here I am, dealing 100% of my melee damage, and they can't even attack with their melee units. It's pretty ridiculous. It is important to note that my units do not ready. They are attacking instead of readying, so I do not get the melee buff, except for the little buff at the end of the turn. Since I did choose Psychic, I am still getting a slight buff to my ranged and melee stats, and that will build up over time as I go Psychic each turn, which there's no reason not to against Necrons. So yeah, particularly against Necrons and Tau, I think this is going to be extremely powerful. And let's see, they had a little Scarab Swarm there, and just regenerated or came back to life because of the Endless trait. And here comes some bigger units here, but they really can't do a whole lot. The Stormlord relying on its special rule to deal a fair bit of damage there, and they debuffed my melee attack. But of course, even if I have my melee bar debuffed, my units can still attack for 100% of their full damage, thanks to Zagstruk's special rule. So in this case, it seems almost too good to be true, really. It's just ridiculous how much damage, free damage, I'm doing here, and the enemy can't do a single thing about it. I haven't even lost a single unit yet. But my little war boss there just went down, and if my Storm Boy is available, which I think he is, I can deploy him, and he will also attack immediately there. So that's another 33 damage there, and then if I just go Psychic again, Actually, well, it doesn't actually say how much damage you'll be doing, but it does deal the full damage. But I could also just go for a regular melee attack. And there, in that case, it does tell you how much damage you're doing. So I'll just go Psych again just to show off the ability. So yeah, more than enough damage to take out that Stormlord. So pretty ridiculous. Of course, if the enemy deck is a Psychic-based deck, this will not work nearly as well. I think it's still usable. I mean, you could still use it a little bit, but it just would not be nearly as effective as it was just now. But regardless, Boss Zagstruk is definitely a whole lot better than he used to be, and a whole lot more fun too. So I imagine we'll be seeing him a lot more in ranked mode, and I'll definitely be playing with him a lot more as well. In the upcoming Orc campaign, we can get an additional Storm Boy who also has the Scout trait, so that will also work well with him. Let me know what you think about the new Zagstruk in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.